And here we go now with patient file number 4, the series where I explain the monsters and creatures that you wouldn't survive if all of a sudden, they became kind of real. And when it comes to patient file number 4 from the Asylum archives, we're going to be throwing a little bit of a curveball at you because this one isn't a singular monster or creature. Oh no, this one's going to be something a little bit different and something very close to my heart. Because patient file number 4 is Raccoon City from the Resident Evil franchise. Now, at some point, you've probably been presented with the question, which one would you choose if you had to select one? Silent Hill from Silent Hill, or would you choose ultimately Raccoon City from the Resident Evil franchise? More often than not, most people choose Raccoon City, and that's not any better. Now, let me make myself very perfectly clear. I'm not saying Raccoon City from Resident Evil is any more dangerous than Silent Hill. That's not what I'm saying. But I am saying is that the reason why people select Raccoon City is because they think they have a fighting chance. And I'm here to prove you wrong. So buckle up and get ready, because your favorite doctor is about to explain realistically why you wouldn't survive something like Raccoon City. So, I'm sorry to say it, I'm about to shatter that illusion of the fact that you had any kind of chance of surviving this. Here we go. First and foremost, and I'm not trying to hurt anybody's feelings here, are you out of shape? When was the last time you saw the inside of a gym, or maybe hopped on a treadmill, or even a jogging track? If the answer is you haven't seen any of those in the past 2 years, yeah, you're probably cooked. Because you're probably thinking to yourself, you can probably outrun most zombies. Well, that's actually probably true, but here's the real question, how long can you outrun a zombie? And let's just say, for the sake of argument, you're just fit enough to actually outrun the zombies. Congratulations, but can you outrun some of the infected dogs? How about the other infected that actually can sprint? Can you outrun them? And more importantly, how long? If the answer is not long, you're not going to make it outside Raccoon. That's okay, I don't have to fight any of the horrors of Raccoon City or Resident Evil. I could just drive out of Raccoon before everything goes to hell. Are you kidding me? When all hell broke loose, the streets became as chaotic as if multiple earthquakes hit the city. You're not driving anywhere on these streets. That's not happening. So yeah, you will be on foot, essentially, and as we saw through if you played Resident Evil 3, you can't take the train system either. That's kind of cooked. And you wouldn't want to walk the tracks either. Truly, the zombies are everywhere, from the sewers to even the train tracks themselves. And yeah, imagine coming across some of the infected dogs down here, if not even something worse. You've got nowhere to run, and whatever is faster than you would run you down pretty quick. Also, let's just say for the sake of argument, the roads were clear. Would you even have enough gas? Also, by the way, Resident Evil 2, just $1.06 for regular. Can we please get back to improving the economy? I don't mean to break the fourth wall here or anything, breaking down this whole entire breakdown, but good God, once upon a time, gas prices were this low. Holy shit. So you're not driving it, you're not taking the trains, you're not going to walk the track, so now you have to find another way out of the city, but you have to actually be able to survive navigating the streets of Raccoon City. Could you actually even survive that? Let's break that down. First order of business, you're going to have to get your hands on a lead injector. Good news, there are plenty of destroyed RPD vehicles laying around, so you're going to be able to find those pretty easily. Also, there's still yet plenty of very iconic, lead injector shops laying around, so it's going to be kind of relatively easy to get your hands on a lead injector, provided that the undead, the POWs, and even potential hostile civvies that are still around don't take you out on your way there. Now, here's that unfortunate, grounded, realistic question that is going to be very uncomfortable for you to answer for yourself. When I ask you, do you know how to load a lead injector? Do you know how to clear it? Do you know how to maintain it? What happens if it malfunctions while it's in use? Do you know how to do any of these? If not, lead injectors are only going to be your lifeline, something you only want to use, even if you do know how to use them. And that's because one shot and you are going to bring down the entire horde of every zombie from around every street corner right to you. So unfortunately, this isn't an action movie, unfortunately. You can't just go around lead injectors blazing. You have to be nice and quiet. In other words, you're going to need something more than just a lead injector. Most people assume that means a nice bladed whipping. Wrong. This is the last thing you want against zombies. But then again, it's not just zombies you're going to be up against. So this is probably still, yet nonetheless, going to be ideal. But do you know how to use a blade? Anybody can pick up some sharpened steel and swing it to defend themselves, but do you have any finesse? Do you have any specialized training? Do you even know how to properly plant your feet and take a proper stance? If not, then you're definitely not going to be able to suddenly just magically at the snap of your fingers, just because shit is hitting the fan, pull off any type of CQC, John Wick, Leon S. Kennedy type of moves. In other words, you're not going to be able to defend yourself against, hostile civvies still in the city, probably wanting to take any supplies you have, and you're definitely not going to be able to, once again, magically know how to defend yourself against any type of creatures and monsters in the Resident Evil verse that also come complete with their own weaponry as well. So again, unless you got that specialized training, I'm sorry to say it, you're not Leon S. Kennedy. You're not the protagonist. So your combat skills are probably limited. You may not be in the best shape. You can't even drive out of the city, and even if you came upon a complete arsenal, you still wouldn't even want to use that arsenal because, again, they'll bring the horde down on you, and then you also have to be worried about that little thing of the fact that lead injectors need ammo, so great. I guess now the only option is to go full stealth ninja mode and just quietly get out of the city, right? Yeah, good luck with that. Let's see you not scream. Let's see you not have a panic fart whenever some of the BOWs start to pop up. Believe it or not, the liquor is actually best case scenario. Best case because they are blind as a bat, and if you are quiet, yes, you can avoid them, but good luck trying to escape even the infected dogs. I would sooner take my chances over a liquor over any of the infected dogs. They got 4 legs. You're not outrunning them. And once again, you're not the protagonist, so if a liquor does actually detect you, it's going to take a lot more than just a little bit of sharpened steel in order to defend yourself against it. Yeah, if these things find you, you're cooked. With a proper lead injector, you might, and this is a big chance, might be able to defend yourself against one of the hunters, but newsflash, where there's one hunter, there's usually several. And if more than one of these come down on you, yeah, once again, cooked. Can't take your chances down the sewers because we got zombies down there. We got these. Don't forget, they can gobble you up in one bite. Extra cooked. Cooked. So cooked, you are extra crispy. So crispy that the moment the chef takes a look at that, they just toss it right into the bin. There's no saving that. Again, and don't forget, there were several tyrants that were walking the streets of Raccoon City. So again, it's... These things see it. You cooked. You don't stand a chance. Come on. Cooked? No, your ass is rotisserie style. You are not stopping Nemesis. Get that out of your head right here, right now. Then again, there is a good chance that provided you're not on his list, Nemesis just might outright avoid you. But then again, I'd like to think that Umbrella didn't want any kind of witnesses surviving. So if you saw this thing, and more importantly, if you saw the Umbrella logo anywhere, Nemesis might actually have targeted a couple of civilians on Raccoon City streets. That's what I like to think anyway. And don't forget these. I had to save these for last because I just don't do bugs. But imagine coming across these from Resident Evil 3. I feel so sorry for Jill Valentine. I know why she has PTSD. Holy shit. So don't forget though, we are also viewing all of this under the lens of realism. So there are no healing items. In other words, one bite, one scratch onto your arm, just a little nick on your shoulder. Maybe, you know, a zombie managed to only just nibble just a little bit on your ankle. Doesn't matter. One bite, one scratch, you're done. Now that I said all that, it really does speak volumes of the levels of skill and just overall survival instinct that many of the characters from Leon, Claire, Jill, that all these people had that actually did end up surviving Raccoon City. So yeah, there is that teeny tiny, itty bitty little sliver of a chance you might survive this, but again, we're looking at this under the lens of realism, and let's just be real here. Anybody surviving this? Yeah, those odds are pretty much non-existent. For patient file number 4 right here at the Asylum, on a scale of 1 to 10, again, the higher the rating, the less chance that you would have of surviving. I'm going to be giving Raccoon City from Resident Evil a solid 10 out of 10. Yeah, you got no chance. And I did save the best fact for last. You wouldn't have survived even if you decided to hunker down and maybe just trying to like lock yourself inside a building or something. That wouldn't work, because don't forget, they did make the whole entire city go kaboom. I'll do it this time for patient file number 4 of the archives run right here of explaining monsters and creatures and scenarios and locations as well that you wouldn't survive. I feel like I shattered a lot of people's hearts with this one. Everybody's always saying, I would survive zombies. I would survive something like Resident Evil. Well, yeah, sorry, I had to, you shattered that disbelief right there, but someone had to do it. Enjoy the breakdown. You want me to continue to keep you informed on all things video games, trailers, comics, and if you want to continue to be a part of the archives run right here, please make sure to give me a follow, like, and a comment, and I hope to see y'all in the next one.